watching this. Wins by 2 to go up 3-1 in the series. This is the series of which I speak. Wilds, what statement did Donovan Mitchell make in this game?
Okay, controversial opinion coming. I don't know if this game was blacked out across the country and it just went to my TV. Maybe it was like Wilt's 100-point game, like you heard about it, but nobody saw it and there's no video. Because if we can see what Donovan Mitchell's been doing, so no one's talking about Donovan Mitchell. Luka's all of a sudden Bill Russell, someone said on the show, he's going to be better than Bill Russell earlier. He's got 3 wins. He's got more points. He doesn't rebound the ball. That doesn't matter. And he's shooting the 3 like a monster. Donovan is playing crazy. Luka's got 98% of the media attention. And poor Donovan Mitchell's leading a 6-seeded Jazz team to an upset. And nobody cares except your old friend Kevin Wilds.
It's Wilds. It's a fair point. He hasn't been as good as Luka overall, but 2 50-point games in a series, only MJ and Iverson have done that in modern NBA history. And listen, I have to, what's fair is fair, Brandon. I obviously have nailed the Lakers series. I'm obviously going to be right about the Clippers. What? But I was dead wrong about the Nuggets. Dead wrong.
Say that.
I picked Nuggets in 5.
Listen.
I picked the Nuggets to roll over Utah. I thought Utah, when they couldn't win game 1, when Donovan scored 57, they were dead, and they came back with 3 straight victories. And, I mean, they beat the the Nuggets yesterday. Brandon, Jamal Murray scored 50 as well, so I assume Wild says he's also better than Luka. But, Brandon, shout out to the Jazz, who have quietly been excellent the last 3 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's time to put respect on this kid's name. I don't know if because he's hiding in Utah, but, you know, you have KD out there, you have LeBron, but next up, really, 1 and 2, there's Luka and there's Donovan. Put respect on this guy's name. He is the face of the NBA alongside of Luka.
Ooh. Look, he looks like Dwayne Wade.
Is that Chris?
He looks like Dwayne Wade with a 3-point shot at this point. He's looking great. I give him props. I think that's a little stretch to face in the NBA with Luka, but he's looking tremendous, and he's showing that he doesn't hold a grudge. Because remember, people were wondering, can he play with Rudy Gobert after the coronavirus, controversy? I'm glad they've worked it out.
All right,
I gave KD and
Luka,
LeBron love. Come on.
little superstar status, 43 points, 17 rebound, 13 assist performance, and the shot of the year for Luka Doncic, who, may I remind you, is only 21 years old. Brandon, what's the ceiling for Luka?
The best. You heard me say it's the face. I'll give LeBron love. I'll give KD love. You can throw Steph in there. But there's 4 things that he is the best at, right? There's skill set, strength, size, and smarts. When you see those 4 things, who compares to him right now? This kid hasn't even entered his prime. So when you talk about the ceiling for him, he is the face of the NBA.
Yeah, listen, there is no ceiling. He walked into the league and profiled, if everything hit, he could be one of the 10 greatest players ever. And up to this point in his career, that is, again, he could only play how long he's played. Like, we can't hold against him. Well, he hasn't done it long enough. He's only been in the league this long. So he has hit every single benchmark, and yesterday was an iconic moment for a guy that's going to be an iconic player, Broussard. Over the next 15 years, you're not going to be able to have the best player in the world discussion without talking about him. And 30 years from now, you're not going to be able to have top 10 all-time player discussions without including him. That's what we're talking about with Luka, Broussard.
Look, he could be top 5 or higher. Could he ever catch Michael Jordan? He's never going to be the defender that Michael Jordan was, and he'll never be the defender that LeBron was. It's going to come down to how much does he win. And look, as clutch as he looks right now, we still don't know until he gets it done. I never would have believed early in LeBron's career that he would only have 3 titles in 17 years. I never would have thought he'd had only 3. And after LeBron went through Detroit with 29 of the last 30 points in his 4th game in his 4th year in that playoff game, I never would have thought LeBron would have had an experience like he did against the Mavericks in 2011. So we don't know until you do it. But if Luka can win, it's all going to be on how many championships he wins, because he's got the skill sets, he's got the game to be seriously top 5 if he can win some championships.
Okay.
Wow,
ahead,
wow.
Wiles.
What's up with the Embiid body language?
You're off. This dude has it all. This dude has it all, man. For real.
I know.
Other than defense.
I'm okay with that. It's his second playoff game. Vince Carter won 88 playoff games. This is like you saying, Broussard, this is the best night of my life. And me being like, Broussard, it's 6:30. We got a long way to go. Why don't we just hold back on the best night of your life stuff?
I like
Come on,
that.
man.
I've been
Stop
sheltered.
it.
I've been
Wiles,
sheltered.
When you know, with the Embiid body
I've been
language,
sheltered.
wow.
On
When
to
you
the
know, you
Lakers
know.
lock
You knew
in.
with this guy. How
Yeah,
long did it
he's
take
got
for
it.
this guy? You knew
LeBron,
with this
right.
guy.
It's
LeBron
true.
and
You knew
AD
right away.
both got it going for LA Saturday night. The King posting a stat line like we are used to seeing from the King. 38, 12, and 8. AD had 29 points in this, and the Lakers defense shined in the fourth quarter. Lakers beat the Blazers to take a 2-1 series lead. Nick, I'll ask you, did LeBron finally activate playoff mode in Game 3?
No, because he activated it in Game 1. And while I'm hesitant to correct any of my colleagues, to be fair to LeBron, from something Broussard said earlier, LeBron has 3 titles in 16 years. After 17 years, he's going to have 4, which paces very well for him to have 6
No, this
after
counts as
21
two.
years
Really hesitate
when
to
it's all
correct.
done.
Nick, this counts
but
as
that's
2.
neither here nor there.
You thought he'd have more too, Nick. Admit it. Admit it.
That's revisionist history. I don't know. I feel like he's maximized every year except for 2011. It's neither here nor there. And so let's discuss this, though. Maybe one day, Broussard, folks, but probably never, folks are going to learn, you know, LeBron's probably thought about how he's going to approach these games. And maybe if LeBron is being uber pass first, there's a reason for it. It's not because he bet the over for his assists at Fox Bet. It's because he wants to get other guys involved in a quest to win 16 games. And he knows, particularly against the feeble defensive Blazers, whenever I want, I can do this. But that's not the best way for us to win a championship. Maybe it would have been the best way for us to win Game 1. But if that's what he does in Game 1, then does Anthony Davis have the monster Game 2 and the monster second half Game 3? If that's what he does in Game 1, does KCP snap out of his shooting slump? Does Danny Green finally hit a couple threes? I don't know. Playoff LeBron, Broussard, means when he has an off shooting night, he gets around 30. When he has a hot shooting night, he gets around 40. The Lakers have that in store for the next 20 or 21 games, however long it takes them to win 12 more. And that's what we're going to see. But this idea that he wasn't in playoff mode when in Game 1 he gave you the first 20-15-15 in playoff history, it's craziness. I'm not saying you said that, Broussard. I'm saying to the I see the puzzled look on your face. I'm saying to the general public that was wondering about when's LeBron, when are we going to see playoff LeBron?
Look, I agree with you. Obviously, LeBron is cerebral. LeBron can control a game. We all know that. But I'm not sure he's quite the puppet master that you just described, all right? It's really convenient that Nick just glossed over Game 2. I know they won, but LeBron had 10 points and 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
That is not playoff LeBron, all right? That's preseason LeBron. He still had 6 turnovers. I mean, so that was not playoff LeBron. The question, LeBron was better in Game 3 than he was in Game 1. Despite the historic stat line from Game 1, he was better in Game 3. And, Nick, you know this. I've been saying I need LeBron to be more of an aggressive scorer, and that's what he did. So the fact that the bench only hit, 1 3-pointer in Game 3 didn't matter because LeBron came to play offensively, and that's what the Lakers need to close out Portland.
Go ahead,
Chris,
Brandon.
you just called probably the smartest NBA player ever cerebral. No, it's not cerebral. He is that smart. He's very tactical. He's very strategic in everything he does. It reminds me of Michael Jordan. Look, think about The Last Dance. We just watched that, right? It captured all of America. And then Michael Jordan has something to say that was really interesting. He said, you know, my teammate Scott Burrell, when you guys see this, you may look at me as a bad guy, but I knew we needed him down the stretch, so I was hard on him in practice. So what we watched And what we witnessed was a Michael Jordan playing chess, playing 10 moves out. So when you look at LeBron, the first game, the second game, he knew that AD had to be involved. For them to get to the championship and win, for him to get that fourth ring, he needs AD hot. This is why LeBron, to me, is the smartest guy that ever played basketball, and sometimes to his detriment.
Couldn't say it better myself, Brandon. You're going to fit right in.
Nick was just.
This is great.
Nick
I
was
agree.
just.
This is great.
I mean,
Here was the. I agree with what you said for the most part, Brandon. But Nick was acting as if LeBron meant to only score 10 points and commit 6 turnovers. Maybe so the other guys could get used to handling the ball for down the line in game 2.
No, just
That's
quickly, Wilds, no. It is, you can criticize LeBron's performance. He was sloppy with the ball in game 2, and he smoked some layups. So you can say he played poorly. But Wilds, this idea that he had the wrong approach is just nonsense. It is what it is saying is, you know what it is? Peyton Manning, if he threw a pick, we might say he made a bad throw. But nobody, after Manning been in the league a decade, be like, you know what? Pre-snap, I think he misread it. Pre-snap, he shouldn't have checked into it. And no, I know better from my couch what Peyton was seeing and why he did it. He sometimes would have a bad throw, but we didn't have the audacity to say, I know better than Peyton Manning what he's seeing with the defense. Yet we do this with LeBron.